All right.
Hi, everyone. It's Nikki and Joanne again,
Hello,
confessing
everybody.
as dietitians. We are so glad you're here. And you have heard us talk a lot about this. We've talked about how it's essential at all your meals. We talked about promoting and maintaining lean muscle mass. And what do we need? We need protein. So let's get down to the nitty gritty on how to figure out how much you need, why it's important. You kind of already know why it's important, but
Yes.
um,
Mm.
let's just kind of figure it out. What's your goal weight? Where do you want to be? How much protein should you have? And then dividing that into those three meals. Um, and then what are some great sources? So let's hop to it, Joanne. So we know we need
Okay.
adequate protein to be
Yes.
able to maintain our lean muscle mass. We know
Yes.
when we have protein with our snacks, if we have one, or at our meals, that it helps to be able to slow things down a little bit, keep
Right.
us more full.
That's right.
And that's an important thing never to miss at breakfast, lunch, and protein, because if you do, you're going to notice, right?
You get hungrier sooner
Uh-huh.
if you
And
miss
I
your
have a
protein.
huge confession about that
Yes.
because I never paid attention, nor did I know better. And it's, we're all works in progress, right? And a long time ago when we first started working together, that
Mhm.
protein and conversation for our meals made all the difference for
Yes.
me. And I still am teaching people that now, including my kids when they're going to college, because sometimes
Mhm.
it's hard to get an adequate protein when you're, or sorry, adequate. It sounded like I said
Adequate.
inadequate, but I said and. So it's hard for them to be able to get adequate protein at each meal. And so if you have some kids that run into school or run into college, or just you working or packing the lunch, making sure that protein's essential. So how much do we need? Let's just start there, Joanne, and then we'll
Okay.
do an
You bet.
example. I've got a calculator and
Yeah.
we'll hammer this home.
Okay. So, there's what the recommended dietary allowance is. And,
Mhm.
we know that's like about zero 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per kilogram. But if you're really focused on weight management and trying to maintain your weight, take some weight off, the requirements are a little higher. You should have, in fact, I think these are great requirements actually for older adults as well.
Mhm.
Um, so the requirements are 1.2 grams to 1.5 grams per kilogram. So yes, so let's back that up a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's start with, and that would be your for your goal weight, right?
Yes. Okay. So let's say our goal weight is 150 pounds. So we got to get that into kilograms first.
Yes. So you're
So,
going to divide that by 2.2, Nikki,
and that's 68. So 68 kilograms is equal to
kilograms.
150 pounds. So then I
Yeah.
take my 68,
Times 1.2. What does that come up to?
81.
81 grams. And then what about 1.5?
1 second. I just lost my original because I'm an
Yeah.
amateur. Just kidding.
Okay.
I've only done this how many times? I was just telling my family about those crazy equations we had to memorize for our exam and how we don't even use those crazy equations anymore. Back to the elevated education of a dietitian. 102. So we have 81
One,
to 102 grams in a
grams
day.
protein in a day. Yes.
So should we kind of go halfway there, Joanne, and maybe do
We could go
90?
halfway, or for guys,
Oh,
generally men
mhm.
have more lean body mass to maintain than women. So maybe guys, you go with the higher number,
Mhm.
women with the lower number. How does that sound? I think that's really
Perfect.
probably the way
Perfect.
to
So
go
let's
identify
do 81 or
81.
80 for us.
Yep.
How about
Yep. For women,
for women? So I'm going to want to have 3 meals.
3 meals. Yep.
So that's about 27 grams. So if we want to just be a
Perfect.
general range, maybe 25 to 30
30
grams in each meal.
each meal. That's right. And
Perfect.
divide it into each meal. And that's good to divide it up because your body, again, can only assimilate so much protein at a meal. So if you were to eat 50, well, your body's probably only going to eat, assimilate about 25 to 30 of that to build lean body mass and your vital organs and all the other functions of protein.
So assimilate meaning your body can use only so
Yeah.
much of that protein at one time.
Making assimilation means that making, muscles and blood vessels and all of that.
Yes. Perfect. So we want to make sure we divide that up into those groups. And let's say really we want to focus on 3 meals a day, but let's say I have my breakfast about 8, my lunch is about noon, but my supper tends, I know I should try to be done eating. We just talked about this a little bit earlier, but I've got stuff going on after work. So I probably don't eat supper till 7 o'clock, let's say. So I'm going to need a snack in the late afternoon. And we'll talk more about planned snacks later and give you more details, but we can take some of that protein
Yep.
and make sure and stick that right into that
That's
snack
right.
time, because that's imperative. Not only do we want a protein every meal, if
Yeah,
we do end up having a snack, we need to have that protein there as well. I love
absolutely.
that, Joanne. And that's simple. An easy thing for people to be able to remember. So again, it was 1.2 to 1.5 grams per kilogram of your goal weight. And remember to take your conversion from pounds to kilograms. You just divide your pounds. So 150 pounds divided by 2.2 gives you that amount of weight in kilograms. So
That's great.
easy
Now
peasy,
you
but
know.
let's talk about, yes, now we know. Let's talk a little bit about sources. So where are we getting our good proteins, and what are some of your favorite things to have for meals? And we'll
Yes,
we'll
for
get
me.
into snacks later.
Well, of course, breakfast. My favorite go-to protein is eggs.
Mine
So
too.
eat eggs frequently. I whey protein, incorporate that into a shake. I like cottage cheese, I eat peanut butter. I eat a variety of protein sources. And at the other meals, same thing. I do eat a variety. I eat red meat. I probably fish more often than red meat. Generally, I eat a lot of fish, chicken, all of that, poultry of any kind. So I eat a lot of protein. I incorporate some snacks and seeds in there, which are also good protein sources. Occasionally, I'll have some tofu. Nikki, you love tofu too, don't you?
Not so much. I'll pass.
I know. Okay,
Thanks for
so you don't
asking.
have to eat tofu, Nikki. I won't make you tofu.
Oh, and the other one I'm not going to eat, sardines. There's her confession.
I love sardines.
The
Yeah.
girl loves sardines, and I am not touching that with a 10-foot pole. I don't even want you to open the can when I'm kind of by there. I'll pass. I will
Okay.
pass.
Oh, I have a confession too about tofu. Okay, so when I was working at the cardiovascular hospital in Sioux Falls, South Dakota,
With
I
me?
I tried to get the patients to eat tofu. Do you remember that, Nikki?
No.
I did. Oh, you don't remember
I
that?
probably
Oh,
cleared it from my brain because I'm not a tofu kind of gal.
I had this is in the Midwest with all the farmers that are at the
Yeah.
hospital. Right? I was trying to get them to eat tofu. So I tried to disguise it any way I could. I'd have the cooks cube it up, marinate
Yeah.
it in some kind of teriyaki sauce, and then I'd have them like bake it. And so that it would taste more like, chicken or something. Well,
Sure.
I
Chicken.
chicken. Okay, Nick. So I had to give up. Still knew it was tofu. And so just
Okay.
so you know, tofu is a great source of protein as
It
well.
is. It is.
Soy,
And
soy foods are great sources of protein. So that's what I'm
so,
trying to say.
yeah, and I'll admit to this that my confession is when I was in college, we were told to make meals with, actually it was my internship. So we have to go to college for so many years, get our 4-year degree, maybe a master's like Joanne, and then we go on to do an internship for 1 or 2 years after. And oftentimes, people do more after that even. But in my internship, we were told to do the tofu meal thing, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why I don't like it is because I didn't know what I was doing and we did not marinate it. And so it was awful. Like it's nothing I'm used to having. And so I didn't take the appropriate steps that a lot of people do to be able to have it take on the flavor of other things. So
That's right.
yeah, was not my favorite thing. No way. But I have a confession. So Joanne talked about those meal things, different ways she adds it in. I do overnight oats too, which is another thing on top of the things that
Oh,
she
yeah.
mentioned, with some Greek
Mhm.
yogurt and old-fashioned oatmeal, a little bit of milk, pecans or walnuts or whatever can like get some
Yes.
crunch in there, and some fruit. Sometimes a little blab of peanut butter. My favorite is natural peanut butter that you keep in the fridge.
Mhm.
I get the Smuckers and stir it up really good. But I have always been low in my fish intake. And so Joanne would be very proud of me, because turns out, confession, fish is easy to make. It is like the
Yes,
easiest thing to be able to pull out last minute
it
and
is.
make it. And so in this
10
crazy
minutes.
world of being busy, I
Mm.
absolutely love it. And if you get the right stuff, we eat a ton of salmon now. I get the
Mm-hmm.
ones that are frozen in their own little fillets.
Yep,
I just
yep.
peel it open and throw it on the thing, and I put some olive oil, maybe a little tiny bit, and some seasonings, and oh my gosh, it's so good and so quick. So
So easy, quick.
yeah, so thanks,
I
Joanne. It
agree.
only took me 20 years to get,
So we're gonna get to that point. Well,
yes, I'm
Nikki,
so proud of myself.
okay, so all of you out there, don't give up. There's
Yes, don't give up. It only took me 20 years to get it done.
Come on, try and eat more fish. See, look
That's
at where
right.
Nikki is now.
And
What,
we're
20,
works in
30 years
progress.
later?
Even we are works in progress. So,
That's okay.
guys,
More
get
we
your
can still
protein,
do.
whatever way you want to do it. And if you love tofu, tell us how you like it. Because
That's
we
right.
probably are doing it the wrong way and we need to add more into. So, make sure you're getting adequate. And we are so glad you're here. Thanks for laughing with us. And we will see you next time when we confess more on the next one.